morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is a good something to you. Yeah, it's Tuesday with Todd. This is the August 1st edition. Welcome in, everyone. Tonight, we've got a hot one for you tonight, all about marketing, folks. And listen, this is how it's going to go down. We're going to bring Bob in here. He's going to tell us about marketing, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. We're going to sell you at the end. We're going to give you plenty of valuable content to begin with so you can understand where we're coming from. Yes, you can do all of this yourself. We're going to give you some tips, tricks, ideas to be able to do this yourself. But really, talking from experience, I'm telling you, this is the one place that I really fell down at. And it was because I didn't have the greatest time management. Trying to get things in order, trying to get things to play out. It was taking time away from what I needed to be doing, which is actually working on the business, not in it. And a lot of this was marketing things, setting up posts, setting up emails, replying to messages across multiple platforms and multiple places and losing stuff. I mean, we've all been there and done that, right? So we're going to talk about all this stuff that is going to help increase your efficiency, which, hey, it's going to give you more time back. And we know the most valuable asset that we have in life is time. So anytime we can get more time, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So begin here. Check in. Let us know where you're from. How are you doing tonight? Let us know what's going on with your marketing stuff. I'm actually going to pull up and drop in where is it at? I'm going to pull in. I'll eventually pull it in because I'm going to bring Bob in and then I'm going to do some stuff. But I'm going to put in a Google form. We got some questions in there, and then we're going to take some of those answers and we're going to reply to some of those. I thought I had that handy, but I don't because I'm a total slacker. But we will get that in there. Super easy to do. And then we'll get you kind of the website going in there. So I'm telling you, this is going to be a fun show tonight. And it's only going to get better with your help. You are the ones who need to get in here, ask the questions, because the better informed we make you, the better informed you're going to be, right? That's how it goes on there. So let's check in here. We got a few people checking in. Darren, hello to you. Happy Hot Tuesday, 99 in Texas. Oh, heat index 107. I haven't been outside yet, so I don't know what it is. Looks nice. It's sunny, but I don't know what it is outside. I'm not going out there. And what's up, Chuck? Good evening, afternoon to you. And hey, Barb, hello to you. Evening, everyone, from north central Minnesota. 74 and waiting on the next rainstorm to roll through. Whew, I think we're good now. I think we've got a little coming on there. And Jenny, hello to you. Slaving over heat press, making some farmer market bad. So Jenny's pulling double duty. She is working and listening. So way to go. Rye, thanks for stopping in, my friend. All right. So to get on track and say this, he says, we're going to bring Bob in here. He's going to tell us who he is, what he is, all of that amazing stuff. I mean, I wouldn't buy a thing from this guy. No, I'm kidding you. I'm never going to sell you guys anything that I wouldn't use myself or that I'm not a part of or that I'm not very passionate about. You know that. I'm not going to just sell you some shit. That's not me. And this is something that we've been working on for a while now. You know, we've been going back and forth on how we can make some stuff work. And, it wasn't just I got a phone call yesterday and this is what you guys need. No, it's been a work in progress. And each day it keeps getting better and better and better. And so I'm hoping that you are able to have those same experience as well. So without further ado, I say we're going to go ahead and bring Bob in here. So Bob, let me get you in there. Look, there you are, Bob. Look, there you are. Hey, Bob, how are you? Bob, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm awesome, Todd, man. It's great to be on here. I've followed you for a super long time, and it's cool to be on as a guest, not just the guy that you're saying, hey, it's Bob and over in Beloit. So that's kind of cool.
It's putting that face with the person, right? Like, yeah. It's weird. We went to Long Beach last year, and somebody came up to me and. I don't know what people look like because I'm like, hey, unless it's a picture of your dog, because that's what you have in your profile picture, I don't know who you are. So I kind of always have to look at the tag. What's your name? How does that sound familiar? But to have somebody that said, hey, there was two people I came to the show specifically to meet, and you were one of them. I'm like, really? And, when we walk away, Corey's like, yeah, you're not going to fit through the door with your big fat head now, are you? I'm like, hey, I'm just saying, it's like, because me and myself, I put out as much information as I can, try to help as many people. And I know that probably only about 5 to 10% of the people actually interact back with it, whether it's comments, postings like that. But a lot are just lurkers. They just take that information and then they apply it in that. And then, when they seek out to see somebody, then they will. And they're like, hey, I've been following you for this. Did a fest not too long ago, and a couple people said, yeah, hey, we turn into Morning Mindset every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm like, really? You never comment? They're like, we just listen. So it's always good to get that when you're out in the wild, when someone recognizes you and says something. I'm like, all right, and I'm doing good. I'm good. So I'm excited. It's always a good thing when people get to see us and we're like, hey, now I know who you are, and now we know who Bob is right here. So Bob, tell us about you and about a little what you got going on over there at Fresh Horizons.
Yeah. So if you guys ever see my Facebook profile, it pretty much tells the story, right? I'm a contractor turned marketer. Spent the first part of my adult life owning a lawn care company for 20 some odd years, and realized that wasn't the future that we wanted. So said, hey, let's switch gears and started a marketing company. Started off just like Todd, where we were making T-shirts and coffee mugs. And we still do. We've got a production facility behind us here, where we make lots of shirts and promo items and stuff like that. But what we did was we looked and said, how do we help companies grow, and really work to build a one-stop solution for a business's marketing needs. So it started off with heat press and a sublimation printer, right? And just kind of continued to evolve. We'd go to shows. I'd see Todd or one of his colleagues at that time, and we just keep buying more stuff. And, I almost
new objects, right?
The PD show almost used adult language. I'm still a contractor at heart, so if I offend you guys, I apologize. It's just the way I'm wired.
But Bob, like I said, if I offend somebody with my language, especially if it's in just that, I look at it as like they're probably not my customer anyway, because I try to keep it as civil as possible. But sometimes a couple words slip out of there every now and again. If it's anything, it's kind of reminds me of remember the movie Old School, when Will Ferrell's getting married and the Dan band is in there, and just to hear the swear word slip out and they're looking around like, did I just hear that? That's kind of what it goes along with me. And so let it flow, whatever comes natural.
So I figured just a little precursor. I've still got an adult language here, so we look to evolve, and in my lawn care company, we realized that it was cheaper to serve one customer and capture as much money from them as possible, than it was to let them go off to the competition and have other services done. So as we've built this company, my wife and I, we started off with the basics, and then we added some things. We added wide format printers and embroidery and really started to get into like the promo side of it. And then about a year ago, we said, well, we're doing pretty well with all this, but what's missing? And that was that people were struggling to be able to grow their business. Mm-hmm. The promo stuff was good, the apparel was good, but we were kind of falling in the middle of what I call the middle of the funnel. They needed stuff at the top. They needed to be able to grow their business, get processes in place, get leads coming in the door. So we decided to focus on the digital part of it, and obviously continue to grow the physical goods side of it. So that's what we've done in over the last year. It's been amazing, to see how this part has evolved and the impact that we've made on some of those businesses. We had a local painting company and met with him, and he had this ad hoc site, didn't look very good. His apparel was junk, and fantastic painter, right? He was awesome at painting, but to the public, he was a wreck. And so, we helped him with some rebranding, logo, and eventually built him a site and all this. In fact, even helped him kind of change the name of his company a little bit so that he would rank better and would show up better. He went from being something enterprises to something painting pros. And I'm purposely not saying the whole thing because I don't want to promote his business here too, um, but it was cool to kind of see us be able to step him through the whole process and help him to really build a brand that that would allow him to grow and hit his goals. So that's kind of like the culmination of the whole thing when we start to see companies being able to utilize the entire platform of stuff that we've done. And I know a lot of your audience here tonight is in the decoration space, and we don't. I'm coming up in the lawn care industry as a cutthroat business, and we always worried that if I sent a lead over to John at the big landscape place and we're the mowing company, are we going to lose that client? At times we would, and we realize, hey, we don't work with those people again.
Yep.
I have a very, very strict policy that if somebody's in the same industry but we're working with them to help them grow their business, we have no interest in trying to sell your client a shirt or some ridiculous thing like that. That's not it. That's a great way for us to go out of business. So,
right. One of the things that we talked about was, the different sides of people's business, where some people want to get to that point where they don't want to do it. They're like, I want to be able to pick and choose, but I want to be able to still offer stuff to people. And that's where we've talked outsourcing before. I mean, we've talked about that for years where, we don't have to do everything. And for whatever reason, we're good with, hey, I may not embroider, but I got somebody that does my embroidery. I may not have somebody that can print full color, but I've got somebody that can do that. I may not be able to do DTF, but I've got somebody that do that. But when it came to like our marketing stuff, we all felt we had to do it, right? We had to do it. We're the ones that have to send out the emails. We're the ones that has to do that. And, in the beginning, it's because you have the time. You have more time than money. So that's what you do. And even now still, up until recently, I'm still doing a lot of it myself. And it was because I needed to, you find that point when it makes sense for you to trade that off. And the two things that I found were kind of the tipping points on it was when it's costing me more time. I need time, and how can I get that back? So by paying somebody else to do it, I get that time back. Or when the processes that I'm already using becomes more expensive than having somebody else do it. So, what I'm paying, what I was paying for MailChimp, what I was paying for Popple, what I was paying for Buffer, what I was paying for, what am I repurpose, what I'm paying for all these other ones. When you start looking at it and all these $5, $10, $20, $50 charges start adding up. And it's like, before you know it, I could have been paying somebody just to do this for me, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Sending them over some stuff, I answer some questions, and I don't have to think about it. I provide what's needed to them, and they take it from there. And it's getting over that hump. That was the first big change in our business was when we realized that we did not have to do everything in house, but we were able to offer everything. So we were able to meet up with an embroiderer. We were able to meet up with this person. We were able to meet up with all these ones and still provide what we wanted to, but now we didn't have to do it, which that opened up us more time to do more sales. And now we're kind of at that crossroads again, where what are we running into and what can we either bring, we're either going to have to hire somebody to bring them in to do it, or we're going to have to do partnerships and work out deals that way so we get more time back. And there's no set in stone. When you reach this number, you should be doing this, this, and this. When you reach this number, you should be doing this, this, this. The only real number that I've seen that kind of goes across all industries is that per singular person in a company, they should be providing between $75,000 and $150,000 in revenue. And a single person, doing it by yourself, that's realistically that's what you can do. You can do 75 to 150,000. Now, once you get over those numbers at 75 there, that's when you start looking at processes of like, how can I get more efficient? Am I going to have to bring on somebody, part-timers or whatever? And it doesn't matter which business that you're in, because that's kind of the same across it. When we were in heating and air, it was the same thing. What is the value of each truck? What does each truck need to bring in? So we knew what we needed to do to bring people in for it. We just have those numbers, those baselines to go off of. And I know people that are a singular, they're a, I'm going to say they're a 1 2/3 person because they're a singular person and they've got two VAs that help them and the meaningful stuff, but they're doing 7 figures and all they're doing is just brokering stuff, so
Yep.
they're handling some stuff, but all the back end stuff is done by somebody else. So they're still the face of it. There's still everything there.
You bring up a great point, especially in like the marketing world and the promo world.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a three person team, person and a couple of VAs doing 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually talk out there now that with AI that the new unicorn in the marketing space will be a team of 3 that does $1 billion.
Yeah,
and it will happen. That's the thing. I think the one thing I want to impress upon people now is that marketing does not have to be expensive, and it doesn't require you to be the genius anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to partner with a company like us, or even be able to have access to a platform to go in and run stuff on your own. We offer it both ways. We offer it where it can be a DIY tool or a done for you tool, where you're like, hey, I want to send an email campaign to all of these people, because I want to reach out to all of my existing clients and let them know that we're offering this deal. Fantastic. We can write the campaign for you, or you can write it and use the platform to send it out. And that's the part, because everybody runs their business a little bit differently. Some are like you and I, Todd, where we're kind of like, wow, we'll just get it done ourselves. The light hasn't necessarily come on to where you're good, do what you're good at, and then hand off the other stuff to the people that are great at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And once that light comes on, that's why people sign up for our done for them services, because they know that their time's better used to focus on developing more processes and growing their company. But until then, a lot of people like the DIY, or it's just a budget thing. It certainly costs more for the done for you stuff. But I love that we're kind of talking about all this, but I like to make sure that we bring value and bring content to these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I was coming up in the business world, it was people that poured into me and my wife that really made a huge impact, and I was forever grateful. And I was taught this a long time ago. That is, if you're blessed, be a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
And so I hope as we go through this, through this show tonight and in this conversation, that we're able to drop some nuggets of info that will help people, whether you sign up for the awesome products that we have or not, which you're going to, because this stuff is ridiculous and it'll change your life. And I'm not making that up.
I think one of the things that we're going to go through is kind of here's the way that I look at it, and you can tell me if I'm explaining it right, is that anybody can do any of this, right? There's not some magic thing. Bob doesn't have a team of wizards over there that are just, I mean, he's a wizard.
They're pretty close though.
Right. But it's one of those where you can do it, but it's going to take time for you to understand how to do it.
Yes.
You can become really good at it. It's just like anything else. Here in the apparel side of thing, it's like any of us could be embroiderers, but very few of us could be great embroiderers unless that's all you do. If you go all in on it, and it's with everything on that, we can all be good or fumble our way through stuff. But if you really want to excel at it, you bring in specialists for it, right? You bring in somebody that
audio,
knows
or did you lose audio?
I don't know. I'm still here. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
That's awesome.
You can't hear me. I can hear you. What about everybody else? Everybody else, can you hear me? Can
I can
you
hear you
hear
now.
me? Okay. I'm like, well, I don't know. I can hear you just fine. Um,
My yeah,
but
that's awesome.
you could, yeah, you could do so much, but is it really good? Like, any of us can put a band-aid on a wound, but would you stitch it up yourself? Some of us might, but most of us are going to go to a doctor. Why? Because they know what they're doing. So
Yep.
you got to look at things that way. It doesn't make you a bad person because you don't know how to do it or can't do it. It doesn't make you a bad person if you are doing it and fumbling your way through it. You're not a bad person for any of it. Like I said, up until very recently, I was doing it all myself. And that's just what it was. It was because this is what I knew, and this knew how this is. I knew how to do it the way, and now I'm finding a better, more efficient way to do it, and that's giving me more time and back in the business because, hey, I put out this goal, and whether that's the goal that's going to happen or not, it's on me to make it happen, or Corey to nix that when as it's closer. But next summer, I'd like to take like 4 to 6 weeks, rent an RV, and just travel the country. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is by having people in place to run our business for us, partners in place to help us with that. So I don't really have to do a whole lot. And that's the big thing is I'm setting a goal and I need to put motion or, put plans in motion and action now. So that way it
Yeah.
happens then. And this is the marketing is a big part of it, because it works for you when you're not working. And that's the thing I love about marketing.
Absolutely. And you touched on something that is really, really important. And that is the ability to go from having what I call a lifestyle business to owning a company. And a company is something that operates whether the owner is there doing the tasks of the company or not. A lifestyle company is a business that is paying for that owner's lifestyle, right? And that's
Yeah.
really about it. And that's where the grand majority of businesses are. But for you to elevate from being a lifestyle business, and that's only if you want to. There are
Mhm.
people that are just super happy. They've got a side gig, and it's paying for Disney every year, and that's awesome. But if you want to grow and build, you're looking to build a big 6-figure, 7-figure, 10-figure business, you know, it is going to require you to build processes and systems and learn how to utilize that stuff. When we did that with the lawn care company, when before we started this company, Fresh Horizons, my wife and I worked a collective total of about 30-35 hours a week. We had a really good lifestyle. And we had employees that did all the work but we knew that there was something more out there. And so when we exited that company, when we sold that company, we started all over. When we started this company, we did not have systems, and I've been in the trenches for the last couple of years building this company, and
Mhm.
it has brought so many memories back of why we focus so much on systems in the other company and processes and things like that was because if you've never experienced it, it's very, very difficult to know how incredible life can be. When you wake up in the morning and you go, in our case, I go down to the shop, check in with the guys, and we had systems that pretty much ran the entire thing. All I had to do was just fill the funnel and everything worked. Well, we didn't have that when we started this company. And so we literally have had to build systems and processes to make things work. And as we're growing, my wife and I are taking different roles in the company. But the point of the story is that one when you can focus on building processes and systems, you can build something that if you're only looking for a lifestyle company, it can provide an incredible lifestyle.
Mhm.
If you're looking to build an enterprise, you're looking to build a company, then that's mandatory to do that. You'll never grow a big company if you don't have good processes and systems. I mean, and a great example of this, um, this is my first time on StreamYard. Can people comment on something if I
Yeah.
ask a question?
Yeah. If you look, because on yours, you can see the comments, right?
Yeah.
See the
Okay.
comment? Yeah.
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 Oh, there we are. Okay, I was on
Yeah.
private chat. Ooh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so on comments, yep, they can see
Everybody can
everything.
hear us now. I'm seeing
Yeah.
this. Okay. Thanks everybody for letting us know on that. So let me ask you guys this, and this is going to be a testament to what a system is about. Whether you go there all the time or not, when you walk up to the counter at McDonald's anywhere in the country and place an order, on what side is the fry machine? Put your answer in the comments.
Yeah. Now, while they're doing that, Bob, before you talked about funnels. Now, for somebody that doesn't know what a funnel is, what is a funnel? Because I know everybody hears it, and a lot of people pretend like they know what it is because they hear it so much. But explain what a funnel is and how it can help your business.
Yeah, that's a great question. A funnel is a designed process of how to take a person from being a lead to somebody that has made a purchase, and it's a defined way of doing that. Most of the time, you hear that term used when it comes to websites, and that is where it's like a general website is kind of like a postcard, right? It's got all this information, or maybe it's like a catalog. And there's all this information, but it doesn't really cause you to take action. It's just like, hey, here's all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where a funnel is, hey, we're talking about one specific thing. It's usually trying to solve a problem for one of your clients' problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you're a great example of this is you do online merch stores, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, that's in a sense a sales funnel for that PTO or that sports team or whatever, and they I saw a really funny comment in there. That's a sales funnel to help that organization raise money for their cause. So you're only selling a handful of items, and it's got a very specific purpose. It's not talking about, hey, sign up for the booster club and do this. It's like, hey, buy this stuff and support the school or support the organization. So that's a in very layman's terms, in a very just broad stroke, that's what a funnel is. It's a defined way to get people to spend money with your business. And everybody that said left, you are exactly right.
And little tip, Bob, if you hover over that where it says like you can hover over their comments, and it will say show. So you can show people's comments.
Oh, check it out. This is cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
I thought I was the tech guy here. Holy cow.
Yeah, right.
Let's see if I can figure out how to make this happen. Let's see. Chuck. Let's see, how do I do this?
Does it say show?
I think you have to do it.
I have to show? It doesn't give you a show? There, I can hear both. I can hear I can see it. There, was that the one close to the drive-thru?
Yeah, that one I laughed. I laughed at. But so Chuck, Sincere, Midwest, all of you guys, that's exactly right. And think about this. Why did you know that? Nobody has ever taught you that. I'm guessing very few people have ever even asked that. And it's because their system is so well defined at McDonald's that a teenager can do it, and it produces a repeatable, consistent result. May not be the best burger in the world, right? But it's a consistent result. And that's because of their systems. And that's what systems do for your business. It helps provide consistency, and it provides duplication. And when you have that down, then you're not hiring to fill the, get somebody to go make a shirt. You're having somebody fill the position, and then you grade against how well they're following your system. So it makes it much easier to coach people to be the best that they can be, or to realize, hey, maybe this person isn't the right fit in general because they're not willing to, or they're not able to follow that system. So that's the benefit of a system. And so I picked something that's very broad, very, very easy for everybody to kind of visualize. But it's those little things along the way that you can develop. Maybe it's every, maybe you put a laser on your heat press, so that every time you're finding, the center of the shirt, or something along those lines to do it. maybe it's using a platform like ours to be able to schedule your social media posts. So you just sit down one time, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, after the kids have gone to bed or whatever, and you schedule out all of your posts for the week or the month or however long. That's a system, and that's something that you can then, if you're like, hey, I don't know how to do this, I don't want to do this, that's something that you, all right, you wrote the system, now you can hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
Whether it's handing it off to us, or you're you've got a VA or somebody that's working on the team that you're like, okay, hey Bob, go in here and and write posts about about this. I mean, that's how we do it. That's literally how we do it.
So for somebody
And
that doesn't know, Bob, when you say VA, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
oh yeah, great question. So a VA stands for virtual assistant, and that is somebody that works for you but is not in your office, right? So now I have VAs all around the world. I currently have 3 of them. One's in Venezuela, one's in Kenya, and one's in the Philippines. And they all do different roles. They help with different things, but it augments what we're doing here. Now there's VAs that work here in the U.S. and but they work remote. I've got a lady in one of my networking groups here locally. She's a VA that helps businesses with their QuickBooks and just organizational processes. So there's it's a great way to increase your team, take a little bit of the load off your shoulders, without having to spend a lot of money on hiring a full-time or even a part-time employee.
Nice. So when it comes to something like that, what are some tasks that a VA would be able to help somebody with? We're just getting started. We're trying to figure this out. If you're going to delegate your first task, what's the first task that you would delegate and you would get a VA for?
Yeah. So the first task I delegated was graphics. I
Okay.
suck at graphics. And so I met a guy that had a connection with a company that it's basically a VA service. Got connected with them, and said, hey, I need somebody that knows Corel, and can do this. And I was able to hire that person for $7 an hour in another country, and they're as responsive as if they worked in the office next to me. And it absolutely allowed us to grow, because me fumbling, or like to this day, I still am like, hey, how did you do that? Like, I mean, I'm somewhat familiar with Corel now and understand it. At least I can be dangerous with it.
Yes.
I can screw stuff up really fast. All right, folks. I don't want you to think like, oh, listen, I can screw stuff up. I can make a file go away like a heartbeat. But they were able to do stuff where I would sit there for a half hour trying to figure it out, and they have it done in 30 seconds and back over to me.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke. I mean, we've literally had rush projects where that's happened.
Yeah. I had that. I just had
Exactly.
that.
Facebook user, that's exactly right. I don't know. I know I was always told
FU is what I call it, FU, because if they head over to the YouTube channel, we'll be able to see who they are. So if you head over to fatdadlive.com, that's who you are. Otherwise, you become FU, because I don't know who you are. Now,
yeah, listen, I'm your guest. I'm not going to just call people FU. I mean,
yeah.
told me to swear
FU Facebook user. I had the conversation today with somebody on artwork, and it was there was a really crappy piece of artwork that came through, and it was simple enough to do a redraw on it. Probably have the redraw done in a half an hour, and I said I would still send it out, because even sending it to my art person is going to cost me a quarter of what it would cost me in time to do it, and allows me to do something else during that time. So I said, just because I know how to do it doesn't mean I should do it. And there will be times, I know we've all been there, where we've sat and said, oh, this will be a quick 15-minute project, and 3 hours later we're still sitting there doing it, and you're only halfway done. You're at which point do you give up and give it to somebody else? But you're already halfway in, so you're not going to, and you spend more time. And this is where finding those people that are specialized in those things that you're not, and pay them to do them for you, really increases your time in your business.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit more on the whole VA piece too,
Yeah.
because there's some stuff there that if you guys just get this out of this conversation, this will change your business. But somebody on there's an FU is like, hey Bob, and they're like, add me Bob on Facebook, man. I would love to, but you're just Facebook user over here, so. I don't
Yeah.
know if Todd's
I
got
know
any
who you are.
better advice on that. I'm happy to be friends with anybody. I mean, I'm just a big,
Yeah.
big teddy bear. So,
Well, they can find you at Fresh Horizons, so that's the start. You can go over there and you can find Bob and be able to do it right there.
yep,
So yeah,
yep. So let's take a few moments and just talk a little bit more about the way VAs and offshore help, and then this will segue a little bit into AI. As a means to grow your business, but something that's really changing the way businesses operate too. So um, we had we have a friend that has had a gal staying with him from France. She came over last year as an exchange student, came back this year to just spend some time with her host family, and was talking with her. I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she's like, "I think I want to get into coding and stuff like that." But she wasn't real clear on it. Mm-hmm. And I said, you may want to really evaluate that again, because that's stuff that's going away really, really fast. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, do you know anything about AI?" And she's like, "I've heard of it, but I don't know anything. I don't really know a lot about it." And so the point of that is that our kids, our generation, that we're bringing up now, they're no longer competing with, Sarah and John next door for a position. They're competing with Miguel in Venezuela, Alex in the Philippines, Tim in Kenya, right? And all of those people, those are all real people. They're all people on my team. None of them are we're not paying any of them more than $10 an hour, right? And they're all very, very talented. Miguel has a degree. He has a mechanical engineering degree and makes more money working for us as a VA in his country than he would if he was using that degree. Okay.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, it's mind blowing. And the thing of it is that if we as small businesses don't learn how to harness this technology and learn how to utilize the entire world around us, we're going to get passed by the people that do, and it'll blow our minds, and it's going to happen fast. When on my Facebook post, I said the other night, maybe it was last night, how we were talking about this before we got on, AI, when ChatGPT launched, it automatically replaced over 1,000 apps on the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That was crazy. That was, and when you told me that, I'm like, no. And then I started thinking about everything that AI can do. And I'm like, yeah, I can totally see that now.
It's reading through some of the comments there. It is changing the way we do things. It's gonna, like if you're in POD, print on demand, one of the biggest changes that's happening right now is the use of artificial intelligence to create your t-shirt graphics, right? Mm-hmm. You can now use multiple different platforms to type in, "Hey, I want this," and it spits out a graphic that's print ready.
So, funny you bring that up, Bob. A little side project that I haven't even told you about, but something that I'm working on is using AI to create a coloring book, and I have no part of it. AI will create the coloring book. Amazon will print it. I have nothing. So that's something that little by little I'm working at it. And if I really sat down for about 4 or 5 hours, I'd have it done and then know where the prompts are, and then I can just change the subject on it. But there's just so much that can be, I look at AI like this now. Yes, it's still in its infancy. So think about a baby, right? They're still struggling to find their footing there. But, before you know it, they're their own person and they're running the show. And it's kind of how it's going to end up with AI. It's gonna take over, and it's gonna get in. It is only going to put the people out of business that don't grow with it. It's
100%.
just like anything else. You
Uh,
have to stay with the times if you want to stay in business, and knowing and understanding how to use AI in your business is what's going to separate you from your competitor that isn't doing it. It's no different than the ones now that don't have websites, that don't have emails, that don't have any social media presence. They're doing everything off word of mouth, but hey, that's eventually going to go away. That's why you see a lot of, I say, legacy businesses where they've done it this way for 50, 60 years going away because the kids don't want to take over and nobody wants to buy something that has no processes in place, because
yep.
the people that are buying from them are buying from that person. If I buy that company, they're not going to buy from me. They're going to buy from Bob because they've been buying from Bob for 30 years. That's why. They're not buying
Yep.
for any other reason but that. So, the
Yeah.
AI is where it's really going to help you take over for it.
It and it the people that this was said too in another conversation. The people that engage with AI, and I saw this question on there. AI stands for artificial intelligence. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So I want to put that back. I saw that in one of the questions. So when somebody engages with artificial intelligence, platforms like ChatGPT or pick one of the art ones. I always draw blanks on the
Midjourney.
art one.
Midjourney is what I use.
Midjourney. That's a great one. Um, if you're not engaging with it, you're going to get passed by the people that are. AI is not going to take your lunch, so to speak, as a tool. It's just a tool. But the person that right now, it's just a tool. Give it 5 years and it will be its own being. But the people that are utilizing the tool right now can move so much faster. They can come in and swoop in, get your, and pick up your client and move on. And you didn't even know what you did.
Yeah.
You didn't even know what you missed. And so that's the stuff that we have to prepare for. I kind of want to answer a couple of questions.
Yeah. Go for it. You tell me where you're at and where you.
Yeah. So Barb LaFon, that's a fantastic. She's up a little ways. Probably see if you can put that on there. That's a good
Which one?
thing.
Which one was it?
MN Custom Made.
Which one? Yep. What was the comment?
But your AI graphics aren't yours anymore. Aren't yours? Anyone can use it.
Let's see. Was that there? No.
One.
Barb, right there.
So Barb, that's a great point, and there's a lot of debate going on in that space about that right now. But let me kind of paint this picture too. You may create something that's awesome, but unless you have the wherewithal, the finances to go and protect your mark, go and protect your copyright on it, you're going to get copied just like everybody else is. And yep, that kind of sucks that that's the way the world is. But unless you're like Disney or a huge sports team or something like that has a dedicated team of lawyers and processes to go out and prosecute to protect your stuff, it's going to get copied. But there's talk within the AI graphics space of that stuff being copywritten and being watermarked in different ways so that you can kind of protect it. But yeah, I've got a friend that has built a huge insurance company as an insurance agent. He's not an insurance company. He's not a State Farm. He's an insurance agent. Has hundreds of offices and does a ton of volume. And he has spent millions and millions of dollars over the last few years going out to protect his mark. And we were talking about that. He's like, there's no point in even registering your trademark if you're not going to have the resources to go out and protect it, because somebody will copy it. And if you can't go and enforce it, it's kind of useless anyway. It's great to have the piece of paper and say, hey, this is mine. But if you can't enforce it, it's not something. So I don't want to push on that too much, but
well, and then it depends too. Like on Midjourney, if you use the public one, yes, your stuff is out there for it. But if it's on the private one, it's in your private folder, so nobody's going to be
Yeah.
able to see it or use it for there. So I mean, and it's just like anything else. There's pros and cons to it all, but at the end of the day, it's not going away. You need to adapt to how you can use it in your business and that. And on the trademark side of things, yeah, you have to be willing to defend it. We've got a friend in the industry that has a tool that's trademarked, has patents, has everything there. And I think on average right now they're spending about $5,000 to $10,000 a week on lawyers to enforce their stuff and knit it. And I mean, they've
Yeah.
got hundreds of people that are selling counterfeit tools they're bringing in from China, and they have to, go after them all. So yeah, it can be a pricey thing. So if it's something you want to defend, you got to make sure you have the deep pockets for it. Now,
Yeah.
before we move on here, Juan over here from Sincere, he said, that this is when we were talking about, farming stuff out.
Yep.
He finally gave in at 4 years in the business and farmed out. It was the best decision he's ever done for his business, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Once you realize that you don't have to do everything. And me, when we did that, it felt like it took such a huge load off of my shoulders. Like,
Yep.
just
Absolutely. How
okay, I can breathe.
follow-up question for him on that? How fast or how much has your business grown since you started to farm stuff out or hand it off?
So Juan, if you're here, how far, how long, or what was that? How much have you grown?
Yeah. How much faster or how much
How
did
much
it
faster?
grow?
There. And then what else do we have in here in this? Using things like AI. This is Craig Smith. I went through and found the other one on here, so I believe that's Craig. Or no, this is Jim. This is Jim Sell. Jim asked, how fast can it move your business? By using things like VAs, by using stuff like the system that we're using, by farming stuff out. How fast can things change? Because I'll let you answer it. I'm gonna throw mine in there. It's gonna like light switch fast. Because
Yeah.
getting the big thing is, to me, the big thing is the time the time. That is the biggest thing that I think getting back. And then what you do with that time is on yours. I mean, if you gain a half hour a day and that's an extra half hour you get to spend with your family, that's priceless time, right?
Yep.
Extra half hour you can
Absolutely.
put on something else, you may pick up a new hobby, whatever. It's all invaluable time. But me, I think lightning fast as soon as you start putting systems in place, farming things out, using VA, using other people to do stuff for you. I mean, it can change overnight for you.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. I mean, I'll give you guys a lot of you that are in here that are apparel decorators and building stores and stuff like that for your customers. I started using we started playing with ChatGPT back when it first came out in November or December
Yep,
of last year.
November.
So we
Yep.
started using it real quite a bit in December and January. And once I saw kind of the power of it, I handed it off to my VA, and we now write. If you guys haven't tried this is free. You guys can do this.
So yeah, let's explain what
Um,
ChatGPT is and how you use it in your business, and I'll say how I use it in mine.
yeah,
What would
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? Tell
So,
us about
our,
ChatGPT.
yeah, so ChatGPT is basically a content creator. It'll do a lot of things, but I think just to keep it super simple right now, for the purpose of this conversation, it's basically a content creator, right? And what I mean by that is, if you're using the written word to communicate something, it will create that for you.
Mhm.
One of the very first things that we've done, and this was a game changer for us, was we build custom sites for our clients that have us do a merch store for them. And I never liked, like you look at like Sanmar and in S&S and you see all their product descriptions, and most of the time people just copy those, paste them, and drop it, and that's it. But when you're trying to really provide an elevated experience for your clients, you've got to write something that's really unique, right? So I wrote a couple of times, tried it out, and we now write perfect custom product descriptions that are about that organization, and use those in all of our stores. So, and it just takes a second. My VA, my VA can spin up a store with customized products descriptions, all customized to the organization in 45 minutes to an hour
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah. And
And that's that's like 10 products, and it's all customized.
yep.
And
And
that's because of the use of ChatGPT.
yeah, one of the things that I've noticed with it, and this is going to be for anything, it doesn't, you pick up anything at all that has to do with the business, and this will apply. It is only as good as the information it's given, right? Or the operator that's using it. When people say, Chat GPT sucks because it puts out, dumb content or it doesn't make sense. Well, that's because you're probably putting in a generic prompt. That's where
Yep.
I say it won't hurt a marketing business. Chat GPT won't, because it still needs somebody to enter in that stuff. It still needs somebody to create the prompt. It still needs those questions to be answered beforehand. So it's
Yep.
not going away. Where I use it in our business, I use it a lot in content creation. So for Facebook posts, for blog posting, for emails, for newsletters, for title descriptions. There's a lot that I'm trying to put in there, and you can do so much with it. And there are people out there, and this is another thing. Yeah, I can fumble through Chat GPT and figure it out, or I can go buy a course from somebody, and don't buy a course that's 2 months old. When it comes to Chat GPT, you want to find the most recent course, because that's how fast it's changing with stuff.
Yep.
And you get a lot of information with it, but it's all in the prompt. It's how to word things. It's sign up for that. Consume that knowledge, and then implement it, put it in there, and that's where I was looking at stuff where I didn't have the time for that. I want to, but how can I? What do I need to do in my business to make that happen? To have a better understanding of it, and one of those things is getting with Bob, like, hey, how can this help? How do I get more efficient at things? And this is where we are now, and the things that Fresh Horizons can do for us, and then can do for you as well. Let's go through some of these comments here and see what we got here. Let's see. Let me see. I'm not for the AI. It's taking over a lot of industries, and as I said, 500 apps in one app is crazy. Yeah, it is taking over a lot. But I look at this. I look at this revolutionized that we have right now with AI. In my lifetime, the next closest thing was when the smartphone came out, and how that changed how business worked, and that and it's just like anything else. When industrial revolution starts and comes on, a lot of people lost jobs because things got put in place to become more efficient, and that's what we're all trying to do. So yeah, there are going to be some downsides, but I think the upside is more than beneficial to it. And someone asked, what can Fresh Horizons do for my business and how it prices it? I guarantee we'll talk about this, and it is not. To me, price.
We have. I'll just get to the pricing point right now. We have mortgage applications available. It'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. It's subjective, right? It's subjective on how much you want to spend. To some people, spending, $75 on a steak is like a Tuesday afternoon. And some people that's like, hey, that's a once a year anniversary dinner. So subjective. I promise we'll go over that. And it's bad. It definitely shocked me on the value that was there for what you got for it. So that's why I said we got to do something with this. Let's see.
Well, and to answer that question of what can it do for your business, we'll get into some of the details of that in just a few moments. But it can transform the way you market your business, and free you up to be able to, if you want to be a marketer and do that, fantastic. But you can use this to build systems and processes to market your business, and then be able to go focus on doing production if that's where you're passionate. And Scott, I saw Scott Dawson pull that comment up. This is awesome. This is the polar opposite of the other. Yep. This one. So check this out, guys. Use ChatGPT to write an email campaign for a koozie sale. Landed a $3,200 job from it. It's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Scott, how long did it take you to write that email?
Yep. So while we're waiting on Scott's reply on that, when we asked Juan where it was, he used to spend hours on just one design, sometimes days. Now he farms out, comes back in 1 or 2 days. That time he focused on production, so he's able to put orders out much faster. So that's where having other people do stuff for you allows you to, like you said, work on the things that you're able to do with it. What we'll do is we'll get through these questions, and we'll get into, hey, kind of the meat and potatoes of here's stuff that, of what it can do for you in there. So let's see, because this is Jim, right? Him and Juanita, they travel all over the United States and show for our shows, on our big shows, because we print on spot, and a lot of companies and vendors can't do what we do. So Jim and Juanita, bunnies. Like, I didn't know that was such a thing until I met them, and that was a thing. That's their niche, and it is crazy the things that they do. But this is a whole nother topic, is finding your niche, and do you really need to find your niche before you start or finding it afterwards? But they have their niche and they have it nailed down over there. I love seeing the stuff that they do over there. And then Chuck asks, or says that he uses it for product description, so that's where it is. And Craig, let's see what you got in here, Craig. Letting a robot tell me what to do with my business, I don't need AI to tell me what to do or not to do, what I should do in my business. And it's not that. What it is the AI is more or less your assistant. What do I need? Because there's a lot of times where I write stuff and I just kind of got into that funk. I'm like, God, this just doesn't make sense. It's not trying to do what I do. So I'll take what I'll have and throw it in there and write this in a more funny way. Oh, okay. Or give me a topic ideas based on this. And that's where a lot of my content ideas come from. Is I've got a couple sites that I use to go to where I can type in stuff and it'll tell me, what the search topics are, what people are asking about it there. And then from there, I can put those in and generate content from it, or, scripts, posts, whatever. And so I can create a month's long worth of content in a matter of minutes. And that's where it really helps me out in my business on it. So,
yeah, absolutely. And here's just a little sidebar, because we're about to go into talking about what all Fresh Horizons can do as a marketing tool for your business. But for those of you that are using ChatGPT or are going to go out and play with it, if you write a little love note to your spouse, it's going to blow their socks off. Do not tell them that that's how you did it, because then all the rest of the love notes that you ever said, they won't ever believe them. So just a little heads up, I'm not saying I don't know this from personal experience, or that I do, but it's a thing.
And I think Brian says it best right here. AI is a tool, just like Illustrator or Word.
100%.
It's just a tool with it, and having another tool in your box, it really makes you a much better business owner. Even if you just use it for one thing, you don't have to use it for everything. And I think that's where a lot of this people get overwhelmed with on the marketing side of things. Like, oh, I have to run email campaigns. Oh, I have to go after reviews. Oh, I have to do, the message texting. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm like, you don't, though. You really, really don't. You can, but you don't need to jump in all at once and do it all, because that's when you get frustrated, because you don't have enough time. You don't know what the hell you're doing. It doesn't work. I have lost count the amount of times that somebody has told me that Facebook advertising doesn't work, TikTok advertising don't work, email advertising don't work, newsletters don't work, blogs don't work, Facebook posts don't work, content creation, none of it works. And it's because you're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. That's the thing, is you don't know. So you just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Focus on one thing.
So that's a great segue. One of the things that you can do with the Fresh Horizons platform is you can automate all of your social media posting. We talked about that a little bit earlier. AI is built into about 90% of the platform now. So if you're, I heard this said by a copywriter probably 5 or 6 years ago, and he said one of the most challenging things that people face when trying to write good copy is the blank screen and a flashing cursor. It just creates a wall. And so with the use of AI, you can go in and write really great content, and especially the better you get at learning how to use prompts and things like that. And a prompt just is instructions on telling it what to write.
Yep.
And so when you get good at that, you can crank out really great content in minutes. If you look, Scott answered there. He answered this. He said, check this out, guys. He made $3,200 with 10 minutes of effort.
Yeah.
Right? Less than 10 minutes of effort.
Well, and the thing is that's a proven formula that works for him. So when he wants to run it again, do you think he's going to sit down and try and re-engineer everything? I wouldn't. I'd run it again and see. I'd keep running until it didn't produce anything. And that's the way I go with it. If it works, it works. Well, it may not be perfect. It's $3,200 perfect. So, I mean, it must have did something there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go into talking specifically about marketing and how Fresh
Okay,
Horizons can do that.
perfect.
Farmed out the printing and never touched the koozies. That's beautiful.
That's
That is
even
right
better.
there, Scott.
Where,
That's beach money.
where there we go, right there, right there. So from beginning to end, Scott really had minimal effort into this. Right? I mean, going by what I'm hearing, Scott had AI write it for him. He had somebody else print them for him. So all he did was sales, right? He closed the deal. Maybe AI closed the deal for him. They just hit the button and bought, right? Because that's easy enough in your funnel. They come in, yeah, I want this, boom, done, put in the information. He sends it off, a little interaction, and there's that. And then he just, rinse, wash, repeat. That's what
Yep.
you do. So I think this is things like this, like what Scott did right here. This is the next level of where I need to get my business to. And the
Yeah.
only way I could do that was by taking stuff off of our plate. So I am not working in the business as much, and I'm working on it more, putting systems in place. And one of the big systems that's going to help with that is marketing, and that's
Yep.
where Bob comes in. Oh, look
Yeah.
at this. Even Scott right here after it says, and I'm not very smart. Well, you're smart enough to $3,200 job, and you didn't have much into it. So Scott, I think you're very
Smart enough to know how to use the technology. That's
yep,
that's
yep.
the thing. Anyway, we gotta park the AI conversation because I'll be on that all night. But I just love it, and I know it's one of the greatest things that we can experience in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to have problems, but man, is it good for those that harness it? It's going to be powerful.
Hmm.
So let's talk about marketing, and a lot of you filled out Todd's form on the Facebook page earlier today, and there were some really great responses in there. Long story short, if you filled out that form, this system that we're going to talk about here can solve for nearly every one of those.
Yeah.
Um, and somebody posted on there, and I thought this was great. They struggle. One of the questions was, where do you struggle with your business? And they said, I struggle with self-confidence. And oftentimes that's because you're like, I don't know how to do this, right? And with tools like what we have here at Fresh Horizons, you can have that confidence because you're maybe you're like, I know I need to send an email to all of our previous customers and tell them about the newest thing that we're doing. And this will give you the confidence to be able to do it. You can use it to write, AI is built into it. You can use it to write the content for the email and be able to send it out. So it'll give you confidence. And then once you see it work, your confidence goes through the roof.
Yeah.
So that's just a kind of a sidebar. I thought that was a really interesting comment because I've been there. When we had the lawn care company, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed to tell you how much I spent on a website one time, and it didn't even do all that good. I mean, um, we're talking big five figures on a website one time. Um,
Yeah.
and guys, I was kidding about the mortgage application, and we're not.
Well,
The price is nowhere near that. But so what can this thing do for you? What we're gonna do is we're gonna help you to automate. Excuse me. We're going to help you to automate a lot of your marketing. One of the things there's like 3 or 4 key things that we're going to help you do right away that will put money in your pocket. And one of them is there's an interesting statistic out there that 60% of all calls to small businesses go unanswered, right? And that's because we are doing the thing, right? We're either making a shirt, mowing the lawn, pounding the hammer, pounding the nail. See, I look at it. If I can do this, anybody can do this.
right.
But we're busy doing the thing, and we're not able to do that. So one of the things that our system can do is we've got a feature called missed call text back, and what this is going to do is it'll go on and you'll get a marketing phone number issued to you, and this is no different than what the Yellow Pages used to do back in the day when they were a relevant tool, where to track the calls, they would put in a number and be able to track the calls. That's all
Mhm.
this is. So, it augments what you've already got. So people will call that, and when you don't answer, because you're busy doing whatever, or maybe you're like Scott and you've got beach money and you're just, you're chilling, enjoying a cold beverage on the beach. What'll happen is it'll send a text back saying, "Hey, sorry, we missed you. How can we help?" And then it can go on and do beyond that, depending on what you want it to do. But what that does is it prevents people from going to their next result on Google and calling them, right? It prevents them from reaching out to your competition, and it starts as a text conversation that you can pick up when it's convenient. Maybe you're running the heat press and you see that come through. You can pause at the next one and be able to quickly respond back, all through an app on your phone. Super easy. That's number one. Number two is we're going to, along the lines of that streamlining communication, it comes with what I call the universal inbox. And that's where you can link all of the different things where people are communicating with you: your text messages, your email, your social media profiles, your Google business chat. Who here comment or put a number in the thing? I don't care. I don't know how everybody does this, but I'm curious to see.
Whatever you want them to do, Bob. What do you want them to do?
Okay, so I get to put a number 2, because I always think one's kind of weird. Put a number 2 in the chat if you have enabled the chat feature on your Google business profile. We'll just pause for a second while we look at that.
I'll put in a 2. I put in a 2. There's
yeah.
my 2.
All right, so if you have it, if you've never heard of that, guess what? You're leaving money on the table. Mm-hmm. And why is that? Because a little known thing is that people are making a buying decision on Google and then validating it on your website. Most people have it reversed. Most people think that you have to have this awesome website, and you should have a great website, but you really should need to make sure your Google business profile is dialed in first. Have that chat feature turned on, because when people are ready to make a buying decision, they don't want to call you anymore. If they have a question, they just want to chat with you. The challenge is, for those of you that have it already there, is where is it going? How are you responding? And so this will pull it all into one, like I say, one universal inbox, and you can respond to your Google reviews, you can respond to your Google chats, your Facebook chats, your Instagram chats, your text messages, your emails, all of it in one place. So it makes it super easy for you to manage those relationships with your clients, and prevent them from reaching out to your competition. The next, and I'm just going to pull this up because I need to stay on track for a few moments. And let's see here, the ability to have the ability to send email campaigns built into it. I can tell from watching the comments, a lot of people do email campaigns. And it's the challenge when you're doing it like that, using a separate service like MailChimp or Aweber or something like that, is that you have to push all that data in, and then it's not cohesive. Here, it's all cohesive. So you can look at your open rate, and you can look at how well it's responding, and it's all being fed back into your CRM. So this whole platform that I'm talking about is hubbed off of a CRM, right? So you're
two things there, Bob. On the other thing too is that's an added expense too, by taking MailChimp. That's another expense I have, and so getting rid of that now. When I look at, hey, okay, yeah, this may cost this, but if I'm getting rid of this, then it actually is paying for itself on this side. So that's something to think of too, is all the different things that you're using, will now go away because you're able to do this. And then for those that don't know, explain what CRM means and what we actually do with it with our business.
Yeah, great question. So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, and it's basically the consolidation of all of the information about your customer in one centralized area, right?
Mhm.
So you can, depending on how detailed you want to be with it, you can put in their date of birth, you can track all of their orders, you can track every time they call. The system has automatic call recording if you wanted to, so you can have all those, and it's stored on there. You can have all this information about your client stored in one place, and be able to reach back out to them, and maybe they inquired about a shirt order, but it didn't happen, and you can send an automatic email campaign to follow up with them. There's a lot of things, but a CRM is just simply the ability to manage that relationship with your client and have all of their information in one place. So that was a great question. I probably should have led with that.
No, that's
I
fine.
just get excited about everything it can
Right.
do, and I sometimes kind of go off in these rabbit holes, and with our platform, the rabbit holes are deep.
Yeah, they are.
You know, there's I think we've got a little over 100 different features on what this thing can do, and more is being added on a regular basis. Um, so basically the system will enable you to market to your clients and follow up with them, text them. How many people here text with their clients on a regular basis?
Hold my hand up, and
Yeah,
with me, that's another conversation that I don't like to have, because it's another thing that I have to keep track of in a separate place, and that's the biggest thing, is to keep track of my uh, Instagram messages, my Facebook messages, my text messages, my emails. It things can get lost, and it sucks when that happens. And hey, it's got buried in an email. Hey, I saw that you responded at 11:30 on Saturday night, and it's now Monday morning, and I just forgot. So that's things like this where it centralizes it. Oof, man,
yeah.
it's right there.
Well, you mentioned something that's really cool. So, um, everybody uses business cards, right?
Hmm.
And we do as well, or we used to. Now we do digi cards. These are digital business cards that are tied to our marketing platform. These are a tap card, and I've got to hold it back here because I've got this blur thing on, so it doesn't work so great. But it looks like a plastic credit card. It's a tap card. You can tap it to somebody's phone, and it'll you guys can see there. It'll pull up the information there. What this does is it leads to an online digital business card where people can fill out that form. So, any of you that have ever been at a trade show or a networking group and you've had a great conversation with somebody that hasn't converted, and you're like, man, this was a great conversation, but they gave you your card, you lost the card or whatever, or you gave them your card thinking, hey, these people are awesome, they're going to call me. It never happens. It's almost as if you wasted the conversation. With this, we're going to take those conversations and turn them into contacts. They're going to be in your CRM, and you'll automatically be able to follow up. With our DigiCard tool, this will automatically send an email to follow up about 8 hours later or the next business day, right? So if you're out at a networking event on Thursday night at 9 o'clock, maybe you've had a couple of margaritas, and you're like, it's not gonna follow up with them at 5 o'clock in the morning, but 8 to 10 o'clock the next morning, you'll be like, hey, great talking with you. Look forward to future conversations, and it will automatically start that process. That's what the use of technology can do for your business. And then when it's convenient, you follow up and continue that conversation and say, hey, what, would love to, talk more about what your business can do. Um, and so that's just one tool. We'll talk a little bit more about the digicards in a few moments, but Todd, what are some of the other pieces that I should cover? You know quite a bit about the platform,
Well, I think
um, because I
things
can
that
go on.
the things that I saw on there were things like adding the web chat to their existing sites, or one that's built out for it. The social media posting, which we touched on a little. One of, I think the big things that people don't do a lot of is the reputation management, which I think, as much as we can spend on Facebook ads. I mean, the last time I checked, when I needed something, I wasn't waiting around for Facebook to pop up the ad that I needed. I was like, hey, man, the roofing ad's going to come. I know I just got to stay on Facebook long enough and it's going to see it. No, I went to Google and I Googled it and I checked to see who had the better reviews or the most reviews. And that was who I started my list on calling from. So I think that's a huge thing that I think a lot of people are missing out on. So any of those we can talk about too.
Yeah, great. So let's talk about the web chat feature and the ability to text.
Okay.
So through this platform, you can text all of your clients if you want to. There is a registration process that you have to go through now to legally be able to do it. If you're doing it from your cell phone, that you get away from it. But if you're going to do it through a platform like this, you have to go through a registration process. I'm just putting that out there right now. It's new legislation, and it's a big deal for people that market a lot with text, but it's a fairly simple process. But
before you get into about, and this is to me why you work with somebody who does this, because I didn't know that. So if I just go sign up for something and do it, am I even doing it the right way? Am I even doing it the legal way with it? By getting with somebody else, that they're taking care of it. So I don't need to worry about that. It's being taken care of for me.
Yeah, that's a great point. You were 100% right about that, Todd. The ability to text with your clients. I see quite a couple of you have said that you text and you're texting right now. Yes, absolutely. And that's how people prefer to communicate anymore. Yes, there's a segment of the population that still prefers a phone call, and a phone call is still an effective tool. But most people don't like to get on the phone call anymore. They just want to be able to text you back and forth. And so if they can text your phone number, that's one. If they can start a conversation on your website, that's the other piece, and that's the chat feature that we can install on there. The really cool part of the chat feature is that it's not a live chat, right? So it takes that and converts it to a text message, so you can respond in a reasonable amount of time. Live chat, its biggest fail point with live chat is that if you don't have somebody staffing 24/7 or at least the full 8 hours of the workday, though people will go on and they'll leave, and then it made you look bad, right? Where here they can send a message and we can automate the reply. We can even use AI to build a whole conversation series off of that, off of just them starting a conversation. So, and again, that's just aligning with the way society wants to communicate right now, and the platform enables you to do that. It's so cool that way. Talking about reputation management, how many reviews do you think that Google finds to be the average number of reviews that a business should have to be relevant?
Right.
Put a number in the comment section.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had to guess, knowing Google, I would probably say 20 to 30.
It's a little bit higher.
Oh, see?
Yeah, they're actually saying 40 now. 40 reviews to be considered relevant. And when you have a good flow of reviews and you have a good amount of reviews on your Google business profile, you automatically will rank higher than your competition that does it. And it may not even be that they're all 5-star reviews. You could have be a 4.0 instead of a 5.0 and outrank your competition because you've got more reviews. It means that you're more relevant, and if you respond quickly to the reviews, that boosts you as well. So our platform allows you to do both of those. You can automatically send review requests to your clients. as well as be able to reply right away, right through the platform. So it simplifies that and helps you to bolster your Google presence. Who here has gotten a bad review?
I have.
Yeah.
We all have,
Um,
right?
so you can't really remove those. There are some things you can do to kind of mitigate, but here's the best way to mitigate a bad review: flood it with all kinds of good reviews over top of it, right?
Mhm.
Especially if it's something that respond professionally and just bury it with great reviews. So how do you quickly do that? You can send out a campaign to all of your customers that haven't sent you a review yet and say, hey, leave us a great review, and you can bury that, and then it's not even relevant then.
Mhm.
So, Todd, they're giving you a heck of a hard time. Facebook users like, not Todd. He'd never get a bad review.
Oh, I did. I told, and it was, and we didn't even do the job. That was the beautiful thing of it is we kept telling them what we needed in order to complete the job. Did a couple samples, and there was no deposit, there was nothing paid, and finally we fired him as a customer, and that's when we got the bad review, and it was just like, hey, it is what it is, and explained everything out there, but that's where, to me, bad reviews, I look for those as well, because when you see all 5-star reviews and never anything bad, you kind of, to me, I get a little sketched out. Like, really, like, you
Yeah,
never screwed anything up. Like, seeing that 4.5 star, that 4 star, it makes you, as a business owner, be like, well, why the hell didn't I get 5 stars? What was 4? You said everything was great, but it, at least, the realness of it. And when there are bad reviews, yeah, hey, we'll respond to them. Hey, sorry this didn't work out, or this got missed. And a lot of times where our stuff from, especially in the early days, it was because we missed orders. Hey, I tried contacting them for 3 times, 4 times over a month, and I never heard back on stuff, and it was because we didn't have systems in place. And
yeah,
so that's what it was. Hey, sorry, we weren't prepared for it. And things like this, having everything in one spot, yeah, it's gonna
yeah.
get rid of a lot of that for it.
And just so everybody knows, Google views 4.2 to 4.7 as like the good range. That's where people trust the reviews the most. If you're way low, then you need to probably change some things within your business. And if you're a 5 star, great, that's good, but it may not be yielding any extra benefit. So 4.2 to 4.7 is just exactly what you said, Todd. It just makes you look like a real person. you
Mhm.
know um
And
and
and for some of them here, because they're not all apparel decorators, so don't get this thought, well, hey, this isn't going to be for me, because I don't make shirts. Maybe I sell blanks, maybe I offer a service, maybe whatever it is. It doesn't matter your business. It doesn't. This
right.
works for every business. It is just not.
Yep.
The main reason we're talking about this is because most of the people here are apparel decorators, but I know there are some blank providers that are on here. I know that there are some tumbler makers on here. I know there is some equipment manufacturers on here, because I can see who's on here and I know what they do. So this can work across it, because at the end of the day, all businesses are the same. What do we all need? We need more customers, right? And this is a way that we're able to do it. That reputation management is huge, because it is giving that social proof that it's right there. And then guess what? Now they're on Google, they can contact you through Google, and you're able to see it right there. So
Yep.
it it streamlines that process and makes it way faster for them to be able to get a hold of you. And remember, with the web chat feature, even if you don't answer, you're still right back in contact with them. So you start putting
Yes.
all these little pieces in place where, yeah, this is all part of it, helping you better your business for not a whole lot of money when we show you all of this.
Yep. You're exactly right. So some of the other things that the platform can do, is you can build sales funnels and websites through it. They're great. If you're not good at building, there's templates that you can follow. You can hire us to build for you, and we'll put all of these features on there. One of the things that we have done within our own business using this platform All of our websites, our non-apparel selling websites, are built on this platform. Okay, so we eat our own dog food here. But we've built process. I call it a pipeline. That it's basically a workflow that when somebody requests a quote from us, we just move it through this process until it's either a dead quote or a sold quote. And then if it's a sold quote, it goes through another production process, and it will send out notifications to our clients based on what's going on. If they haven't submitted artwork, it'll say, "Hey, we need your artwork." It's rare that one happens, just because of the way we normally do things, but it does every now and then. But at the end, it'll also send out and say, "Hey, your order is shipped." And I know there's platforms that do that already. Our platform that we use for all of our stores has that built in. But then at the end, it'll send out a review request as well. So and that's all built into it. The ability to if you're not in the apparel decoration space, we've got a client that's a chiropractor that uses this platform, and we built out really extensive onboarding forms for them, surveys, if you will, and that's all done through here. You can host your blogs through here. We've got the ability to do SEO work and stuff. So it's a very, very comprehensive platform, and it's crazy affordable. That's the thing. For all of this, and we've got clients. Let me paint the picture with this. We've got clients that spend anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 a month with us on this platform. Yeah, and they spend $8,000 to $10,000 to get it all set up. Now, from Todd, from my understanding, those are enterprise companies. Those are banks and big organizations. And so I mentioned that because the power of this platform can work with those big organizations as well. So if you're a big organization on here, this platform will work for you as well. But if you're like Todd and I, where you're a small operation, maybe it's just you, or maybe it's a you and a small team, this will do it as well. And we have plans that go anywhere from $150 to $500 a month, depending on what you want to do.
And I'm going to bring that up right now, and it should. It should pop up. Let's make sure it should pop up right now, and it should show everything that we have there. The big thing, it should do this. We're gonna should. But yeah, there it is. There it is.
I'm always telling you shouldn't on anybody.
Right, I shouldn't should on anybody. But so here's what there is there's the. Explain what we're looking at here. We got three different tiers that we're looking at here, Bob. And like I said, when I saw this, I'm like, shit, really? That's it? Because when I started adding up things that I pay for, I was over that $300 a month. And that's the thing where I'm like, wait a minute, I'm paying for all this, and it's all on different platforms, and there's no real cohesiveness to it at all. And putting this all in one place, God, it freed up so much time from going from this and signing in this and putting this into here. And then does this link over here and do this? So, walk us through what we're looking at here, because I got the mouse, so you'll tell me when to scroll or whatever. But, you want to start there in the a la carte plan, what exactly that is?
Perfect. Yeah. So the a la carte plan is for somebody that maybe you've got stuff really dialed in, but you just want one or two of you just want one of the extra services to kind of get bolted on to your existing operation. So the reputation management piece can be bolted into what you do. Social media planning, that there is incredibly powerful. The web chat feature, that can be on there, and then Todd, scroll down just a little bit. There's a few more there.
I think it's working its way down there.
All right. Well, I can also pull it up on my end and be looking at it. So text to payments, we didn't even talk about this. So text to pay, if you're out at an event, currently the way it works is you can text somebody an invoice, so you can use this platform for your invoicing while you're at an event. It is going to be out in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks tops. Is the ability to do tap to pay right through your phone. So you can issue an invoice and somebody can tap their phone and pay it right there. All of the major platforms, your Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, Google, all of them are migrating towards this technology, and we're one of the first platforms that has it available. So that's super exciting. The next is that ability to do text to pay. So you can I've done this a lot where we're out working with somebody and I'm like, hey, we'll do a bunch of shirts for you or whatever, and they're like, how much is it? And I just text them an invoice and they pay it. So that's the
I'm gonna try and reshare.
That's a really powerful tool.
It's not moving on me, so I'm gonna try and reshare it there because I'm like, I can scroll down. It's just not letting me do there for it. So we're gonna make it do it again and make sure it's the right one. So I think that's the problem. So I might have been on the wrong one.
Were you on the picture?
I'm on the picture. Yeah, there it goes. There we go. It should be good now, right?
Cool.
There.
Yep. So you can choose SMS campaigns or calendars. You can choose from any one of those services there in the a la carte plan, and be able to rock it. Calendars. The calendar system on here is incredibly powerful, way more powerful than any of the big players out there in the space. SMS campaigns. We already talked about that. People want to text, and once you're registered and you're set up and approved that way, I mean that's like printing money. People respond fast, and if you're good at dropping little offers, like Todd with your bundle drops that you do. You do that as a text campaign. I'd be willing to bet you'll see your results go up.
Oh yeah. A lot. I didn't even think. And see, this is where I've said it, a lot in this show tonight, is that I can fumble my way through. I've got to where we are, doing 6 figures in sales by figuring it out. But I know if I want to get to 7 figures in sales, that I can't do that any longer. I need to ask for help. And I think that's one of the hardest things as a business owner to do, is to admit that you're not good at something and you need help with it. And that's okay. I mean, we're not expecting anybody to be masters of this, but you have to understand that yourself, that it's okay not to know how to do something and to not understand how to do it and to have somebody else do it for you. We don't have to do everything. Once you get over that mentality of it, then things will start changing. Like that bundle drop. Never would even cross my mind to do a text message alert for that. Never. And this is why Bob is good at what he does. He's great at what he does. He's a master of what he is. He's a wizard of the whizness. Take it away more, Bob, because that's a great thing.
I appreciate that, man. I tell you what, I'm a guy that's passionate about helping people grow their businesses. That's where all this thing came from. That's why I got into marketing in general. I wanted to see businesses grow and succeed. It's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
If you'll scroll back up to the top, we'll talk about the most common plan we have, and that's our Elevate plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one of the questions that I seen in there is, when you're looking at this, they said, how long is this for? And and that's a great question there. When they sign up for this, Bob, they say they pick something on this, they want to do reputation management. How long are they tied into any one of these things for?
Yeah. So we don't have a contract. You can be on for a month and quit. I don't know why you would, because but I tell everybody, you want to get on and plan to be on for a long period of time, because it takes time to get things set up. On the a la carte plan, you're doing stuff on your own. You'll have us as some support, but you're primarily doing stuff on your own there. When you start getting into the other plans, we have you start to have access to our tech support and things like that. So, but for us, when we started to use it, I'd say it probably took a month or two just to kind of get everything spooled up and working, because this system starts off as a blank screen, and we develop it for each of our clients.
Well, and one of the things that I've just noticed in marketing in general is that some of this you're going to see results right away. Like, any of the reviews, the reputation management, you're going to see results fairly quickly. On some of the stuff, when you're starting campaigns with it, I think you can't give anything a fair shake if you don't do less than 3 months with it. You have to do that, because there's a lot of feeling out, because not every business is the same and not all results are the same. Like, it would be, in the perfect world, we could take the same thing that we use for my business, insert in each one of your businesses, and you'd get the same results. But that's not how it works. And we're going to be honest with you, it's not going to work the same for everybody. And that's why there's no lengthy contract that we're trying into, because, we'll keep trying this or keep trying that. No, sometimes it's just not going to work. But you're going to at least see some results. They may not be the results that you were hoping for. But when I look at some of Scott did something earlier, and I'm going to show in the last plan how I think how this could even make crazy sense there. But give it, if you're going with the Elevate plan, the Dominate plan, give it at least 3 months. I would say once, because you're going to see that by that point, you're going to bring in a sale that covers that easily. You're going to save the time. Like, when I look at value in my time, $125 an hour, you're telling me, this doesn't save me 3 hours of time a month? Get the hell out of here. It 100% does. And that's the thing.
I would be remiss that if you're using just the missed call text back feature alone. I mean, you've already got people calling you. Mm-hmm. Just the missed call text back feature alone will cover your $300 a month or $500 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your average sale?
Yeah.
If you get one more of those a month, you're probably covering it. I mean, unless you're doing one shirt at a time, or you're selling, a super small ticket item, just that feature alone will pay for it. I know it has for us. All right. So talking about the Elevate plan. So with the Elevate plan, this is when it starts to get really powerful. It has all of the features available as a one-off thing in the a la carte plan. You get all of those features plus everything else that's listed here in the Elevate plan. So you'll get a standard website or sales funnel. We'll help you build it. We'll help you build that out and get that up and running. And we can either continue to develop that for you if you want, or we can hand it off, and you've got the keys to the castle to do whatever you need. Full 24/7 customer support. It's a live chat feature on there. That you can reach out to our team and be able to get all of your tech questions answered. No limit to the amount of team members that you can have on there. So if you're a team of 2 or you're a team of 2,000, the system will help you. You'll have the full powerful CRM that you can use. We've got a client that's coming on board that's a bank, right? And so they're obviously using a lot more of the tools, but they're going to use the same CRM to tie into their banking software. That auto missed call text back feature, that is money. That is money. Like I said, the average small business misses 60% of the calls that come in. I mean, if you're on Google and you're on Facebook and all that, and you're getting people to call and you're not answering the calls, quit being on Facebook and Google, because you're wasting your money, right? That feature alone will make you money. Call recording. Who here has had somebody say, well, you said this, and it was on a phone call, and you're like, I can't remember, and now you're into an argument or a disagreement, and you end up just paying for it because you can't validate what what was said, because there's no email chain, there's no text chain.
And that's the main reason I don't like answering the phone. It's like, nope, text me or email me so I have some record of it that says this or this, so I can go back to it and be like, no, this was said.
Yep.
Guess what? Now it's recorded. All right. Okay, now I can answer the phone.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really, really powerful tool. Universal inbox, we talked about that quite extensively. That's the ability to take all of your different incoming channels of communication and have it in one spot. A great example of this is somebody reached out to us already and said, "Hey, I want to get some more information." And while I'm on here, I have responded using the app on my phone. It's all in there, right? So if you what time is it? It's 6:40, right? Most of the time, people kind of shut off, 5, 6 o'clock. If you're doing this, you're doing apparel as a side hustle, and you're just grinding, you're just banging stuff out. You don't want to get on a phone call, and if they do call you, you're not going to maybe be able to call them back first thing in the morning or whatever, because you've got to go do your day job. This will allow you to not miss those opportunities. So going back to the list there, all of this is powered with AI. So if you want to send an email campaign, you can do that. And AI will help you write the email campaign. If you want to write a blog, it'll do that. If you're developing your web page, it will, and you're trying to come up with a great headline, AI is right there to help you do it. And it's getting developed into more and more of the platform to enable you to be the best version of yourself without having to come up with all the witty answers and stuff like that. Like Scott said, I thought that was great. He's like, I'm a dumb guy and I figured this out. I'm like, no, you're a genius. You know how to use technology and you learned how to leverage it to make you look the best you possibly can. Mm-hmm. That's something that previous generations never had, right? They would go spend, I've talked with people that have spent $100,000 or more to have one sales letter written, right? AI is replacing all of that, and that's built in. Reporting, you get to see, if you're a report junkie, there's all kinds of reports to see how things are performing and, see where sales are, where they're getting stuck if you have a sales funnel set up or your sales process. Campaigns, like we talked about, email and text campaigns, and there's templates built in, right? So one of the things that I always struggle with was okay, I know what to say now, but how do I make this thing look pretty? I like I said early on, I'm not a graphics guy. I know I need it, and I struggle with that. This enables you to do it. And then now I just tell my, have one of the VAs do it, and it's even better. And then there's forms, there's different times where you need things, maybe you need a form for collecting information about a bulk order. You can do all that through this. And then there's some other really cool stuff. And so that's $297 a month. It's a $500 onboarding to get it all set up. And that'll include building a small website or sales funnel with you. We're including that with this. Normally we charge $1,500 to build that. And I talked to Todd and I said, what do your people need? And he's like, a lot of these people just need the ability to kind of get stuff freshened up. I said, well, let's go all in. We're going to do it $500 to onboard them, and we'll give them a site built out. So that's the Elevate plan. The Dominate plan, that's for people that you're really wanting to grow. Maybe you're stuck at a plateau and you're like, hey, I need to go to the next level. The number one value here is leads. You're going to get 100 market qualified leads per month delivered right to your CRM. So,
right. So let me tell you what I love about that. And here's a great thing. Look at Scott earlier, right? He sold one job and it was $3,200. So let's say Scott is a really shitty closer and he only closes 1% of all leads. So he got 100 leads. He closes one of them and it pays for this. So that's the thing, it's you're getting the opportunity, and then it's up to you to close those, but pays for itself, right? 100 qualified leads. Come on, what is the value on that? It's up to you to close it. And if average closing is, you're closing 30%, you're closing 30 of those leads, right? I mean, that's huge.
Absolutely. And that's
Scott, he's a terrible closer.
A terrible closer. Oh, man,
Scott.
At the end, Todd, remind me to tell the story about how AI sold a Tesla.
Yeah.
So, 100 market qualified leads. What this means is that if you, let's say you want to sell to schools, you want to reach out to all the principals in your school district or whatever. This system will help you to get those contacts and be able to start an email campaign to them. Or a text campaign, whatever. You'll have their information. You could send them a postcard if you wanted to. Yext. I can't talk enough about Yext. I was skeptical. I'm just going to be transparent here for a moment. I was super skeptical about Yext, and because it talks about how it goes out and it helps you to make sure your information is the same on all the different profiles. It goes out to like 70 or 80 different profiles, everything from Apple and or Siri and that one that's sitting next to my desk that we'll talk if I say her name. To like Yahoo, Bing, all of them, and it makes sure that your information is the same. Then what it does is it provides backlinks back to your site. We launched this, and within the first 30 days, we saw a 20% increase in our web traffic. It was dramatic. So that the ability to run Facebook ad campaigns, we've got a service that you can launch a campaign in 3 clicks. There's templates that you can choose from, or you can build your own template to be able to launch a campaign. So Scott could, he could go from koozies to, I don't know what goes along well with koozies.
Lanyards. Let's go lanyards.
Perfect. Yeah. So he could do, his next promotion could be lanyards, and he runs a Facebook campaign with that. Blogs are huge. And again, it's all AI powered, right? So you can tell it, if you haven't played with it, just go on ChatGPT and play with it. It's free. Try it out. You'll be blown away how fast it goes. That's built in, so you can write a blog about whatever's on your mind. The ability to do surveys. I talked about a use case there. Memberships. It kind of depends. Memberships have a lot of different uses. I'm not going to put a ton of effort into that. And then just wanted to have that reminder over here, the auto missed call text back feature. Again, that there are companies out there that work with this platform that we have and literally charge $300 to $400 a month just for the missed call text back feature. It's that powerful. So
yeah, one sale will pay.
Absolutely. I mean, and these are small sales. To cover $500 a month. I was trying to scroll up to cover $500 a month. I mean, that's for most of you guys. I'm guessing that's 1, maybe 2 sales a month extra. That's not, and that's not including now you have them as a customer. You can follow up with them. You can put them into an email campaign and market to them until they either tell you to stop or they buy again.
Yeah.
That's the power of what you're developing. You're going to develop a database of people that you can market to. And at the end of the day, the most valuable thing that you're going to ever create in your business is your database.
Yeah.
If you ever want to sell your business, and I'm telling you this from personal experience, I've sold a company. I had all this machinery, I had all this equipment, and the only thing that had any real value to the company that bought us was our database. Yep. We had 20 years of serving the market, and that was what they were buying. So you could have the greatest. You could have a 24 head Tajima sitting there just pounding away, right? You could have a fleet of stalls or Geonite presses. At the end of the day, people are going to buy your database, not your equipment.
Yep.
So that's that. But for anybody that signs up from this live, I'm going to throw in. Not only we're doing the website, for $500 included with that onboarding fee, but I'm also, I said to Todd, I messaged him. I'm like, what do you think about this? What if we threw in a DigiCard along with it? Normally these are $29.99 a month. And again, one great lead a month generates, tons and tons of money off of this. We're going to include that for anybody that signs up from this live. Here, I'll leave it open, until the end of Thursday. Why the end of Thursday? Because I'm going on vacation for a couple of days with my family. All right, that's we haven't taken one all summer, and get it done before our kids get back to school, and we'll be swamped with short orders. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I'm just building systems and leveraging this tool to help us grow. And I'm just passionate about helping you guys do the same thing. I don't want to make shirts anymore. I don't. I want to help you guys grow your business. And I am absolutely passionate about that.
And that's where it comes all down to those systems in place. So here's what we got. So we're going to go for about another 8 minutes. We'll go, until top of the hour here. So now's the time to get in your questions, ask anything that's there. We'll keep this open. Now, the goal is once a month, we're going to get together, Bob and I, and we're going to do a Marketing Tuesday with Todd. So the next one is going to be September 12th. And that one is going to go more into depth, whatever. We're going to go more in depth. That's what I needed to say, into SMS and email marketing. And why are we doing that in September? Because we're going right in the fourth quarter. And fourth quarter is, when some people can make it or break it. So, that's what we're going to talk about on September 12th. And then we're going to do probably like the first or second Tuesday of every month. We're going to do marketing from here until we don't. But tonight was an overview of this and how it works. And remember, the stuff we're going to talk about isn't just here. You have to sign up for this and to use it. You can go out and figure it out all on your own. There's no issues with that. We're going to help you with those tips that we've used in the past on those. But this is really, just here's some information for you you can do it on yourself, or you can, sign up and just have Bob and his team do it for you, which, hey, that sounds to me like an amazing thing. So let's see, what do we have in here? Let's see. Yep, Scott was a terrible closer. So yeah, Scott, 500 and just close one, and you're good there. And Darren said that he was a simple firefighter that's not getting where I want to be, so I have to do something different. This makes perfect sense to get the process in place. I don't know how to do, and I'm telling you, there is, especially when you are doing this as a side gig and you want to turn it into more, but you have a full-time job. You really have to figure out, where those hours are and what's going to suffer, either your personal time, your family time, or your sleep time, right? You're giving up one of that. You're giving up personal time, you're giving up family time, you're giving up sleep time. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that, because I went through that when I was making that transition from working a full-time job and the side gig. And I got to a point where something had to give. I had to give something up because it just wasn't worth it anymore. And putting systems in place, you can string that out a little bit farther before you have to make that choice. And let's see. Scott asked, do you assist with the sales funnels? So, Bob?
Yeah, 100%. One of the things that we'll do, Scott, when you get started with us, is we'll go through and talk about what you're trying to achieve, and help you to kind of craft that. And I'm not going to lie, we're going to use a template, and we're going to use AI to help create that. It'll be beautiful, it'll work. But instead of going out and spending big money on a bespoke product or a bespoke funnel, we're going to use the tool to help you create something that'll put cash in your bank, right? And that's why we can do it. That's why we can do it at these prices. Should we charge a lot more? Absolutely. And I am. It's Todd and I are working on this to help small businesses, but we do a lot with bigger enterprise customers that pay thousands of dollars a month. But I'm passionate. I truly am passionate about helping small businesses. It's where I've been my entire life. People have helped me, and like I said early on in this conversation, I was taught, if you're blessed, be a blessing. And so if I can help somebody figure something out, absolutely.
And for me, we're besides the dogs going crazy, what I've seen is that
they're signing up too. They're looking for the easy out.
there's so much of that where small business owners struggle enough as it is, and they all know what they need to do. They need to have better advertising. They need to have better marketing. They need to have somebody help them. They need to have this, but they don't have the funds to do it. Because I get it. I was there 100% where I
Yep.
had to do it all, and to think, oh, to spend $300 a month. I mean, even 3 years ago, $300 a month, was, well, it's like a big thing now. Like if you have a car payment that's under 1,000, you're cheap, right? So
Yep.
this should be more when you compare it to everything. So when you look at the actual cost of it and what the return of it is, we're damn near giving it away for free. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really when you look at it and what the return is back on it. There's done properly with the right information. And remember, this is only going to be as good as the information that you give. Like if Bob's sending you stuff, hey, we need this from you, hey, we need this from it, and you're not replying, you're not giving stuff, then how do you expect it to work, right? There
Right.
is going to be some effort on yours, and there's going to be some tweaking that's going to happen because we all know not every business is the same, but it will work. You got to trust the process, and that's the biggest thing is putting that trust in the process. But on the flip side of it, there's no contract. So if you decide, after 2 months, hey, it's really not for me, by all means, be done with it. All I ask is that if you are done, listen to why. Like why didn't it work out? What did you feel it needed to be better? Because then maybe, hey, let's see what we can do to keep you on and how can we make that better and get that there. Because that's the thing, that the more you succeed, the more that we succeed. And
Yep.
I always want to see people be better than me. I can
Yeah.
get you as far as what I know, but that's like the group that I hang out with, that I try and conversate with. I am the lowest of the low. There might be a few that are a little bit less than me, but
Yeah.
they're 7-8 figure businesses, and they're willing to sit and talk because they've been to where I was. And a lot of people that aren't where I'm at are afraid to talk to those people because they don't think that they have the time for them. And some of them don't. Some of them are a-holes, and they think they're better. And I never want to be that way. I want to, and that's what Tuesday with Todd's always been about. Let's screw some stuff up. Let's see how to make some stuff. Here's what I'm doing in my business. Whether it's the right or wrong way to do it, it's what works for me. Giving you ideas for this, and this is something that I found that works really well in our business, and that's why I'm bringing it over to there for you.
Yep. 100%. And I'm again just transparent. Will we screw stuff up? Probably. Will we do our darndest to make it right for you? Yep, guarantee it.
Yep.
Because we're just like you. We're you, Todd, you've been gracious and said some awesome stuff, and I really appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I'm just like everybody else on here. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I tried that 2-legged thing, man. About broke my back. No,
I only do that
but
with dress pants on the bed, leaning back.
Yeah, that's right. But I truly just want to help. I want to see some of these companies grow and take off. And those of you that have booked appointments already, that's awesome. I'm excited about it. And that why I'm sharing that is it goes to prove that the system works.
Yeah.
Right. People have used the platform to schedule an appointment or to get started. Sucks getting old. Yeah, I'm not sure who that is, but something tells me they know me.
And Jim's from Wisconsin, so you guys probably have a lot to talk about up there.
Probably.
And
What's Jim's last name?
Jim and Juanita.
Jim Sell. I don't know.
And then Darren says that he loves the DigiCard idea. I'm always getting asked, but don't carry a bunch because of bulk. Now, here's the great thing about it, and this is what Bob and I were talking earlier, and then when he said I could, because I said, yeah, I was using Popple, and he's like, well, here, let's get you on this because you don't need that because of the card. And the thing that I love about it is that you can put it so it's on your phone, so it can just get scanned. They get the information that way. They can scan your card. But then there's also the link too. So you can send out that link that goes to. And so now you're covering all the way. If I have the card on me, great. They can scan the card. I got my phone on me, so you can scan this. Or here, just let me send you a link. So you can hit them across the board with this. And it's truly the way that things are going. Because I pulled out the stuff from when we did the last class here. We were over at the Midwest Tumbler Fest, and sitting on my desk were cards from there, and there's cards. Will I go back through them? I'm not going to say I won't, but chances are not, because who was I talking to with this? And in these, when you scan it, you can put in the information like talked about this. Here's what we're doing here. It works. The stuff that you're going to be able to do with technology to help your business that you didn't even know could help your business. That's where it's really at with this.
Yeah. And um, so you exemplified that concept of taking conversations and turning them into contacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had some great conversations, but the fact that nothing has been done with that, it was a waste of your time.
Yep.
Maybe somebody will remember that you are awesome and call you, but with just with the digicard alone and that first automated follow-up email, and we can add more on. You can add more on to it, right? You could send them an email or a text message every day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There's no limit to it, but it comes pre-built with that initial follow-up.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. And
and
because
and that,
especially at an event, you got to think how many people you may talk to me, and you may talk to five people. Me, Bob, Darren, Scott, let's see here, Jim. You talk to us five. And so you're going to remember the five people you talk to. On our end, we talked to 500 people. So it's hard to remember everybody and who was it about. And that's why a lot of times when you see shows, what do you see them do? Hey, you got a card, and they'll write on the back what you guys were talking about. So that way they'll put it in their little lanyard, and then they can go back and through it. Well, gone is that. You don't need to do that anymore. Here, let's just scan this, get you in here, put it in here, and we'll get you in the system, get followed up with. So, it's a great tool. And even if you just want to try things out, at $30 a month to get that, I'm telling you, that is worth gold. That is definitely worth it.
yeah, we're waiving the normally we charge $100 onboarding, or I think it's on there. Normally it's like a $200 onboarding for the digicard. I think it's $99 right now. I think there's a promo going out with it. We've rolled out a bunch of new promos here in Q3, and I'm not remembering all of them. But it's again, it's a tool that that will put money in your pocket. All of this is designed to put money in your pocket. We've gone a few minutes over. Remember, when you sign up for any plan tonight, you're going to get one of these included. And it comes with two of the plastic cards.
Mhm.
It'll be mailed to you. They're personalized with your information, and we give you a custom QR code too. So yeah, let's get together. Let's make some money together. I'm going to be around the group more frequently. I'm certainly going to be back once a month, and we're going to talk marketing stuff. It's not always going to be a sales pitch. It's going to be, how do we help? What are you struggling with? And here's tools. I think tonight we probably opened it up to where there's quite a bit of like, oh wow, what about this or what about that?
Mhm.
Feel free to reach out to Todd or I. But I'm excited about helping you guys grow and build your company.
Me too, Bob. And hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back with you on what do we say, September 12th. September 12th is what we got you down for, and that's when we're going to talk the SMS and email campaigns. So Bob, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks. I'm telling everybody, head over here, right here, betterwithmarketing.com, and you'll see all the prices. You can start now, get the information, and sign up there. But Bob, anything else before I send you back to the green room? Get them out of here, and then I'll meet back up with you.
I'm just going to leave this visual for Darren. I don't think you want to see me in a kilt. Great idea though. I like your ideas there.
If I got to get
Thank
a
you guys
to make a sale, I'll do it. Send me a check.
Hey, exactly. Hey, you're signing up, buddy. I'm going out. We're going to. I don't know where the hell they sell.
I don't know where you buy kilts from, but we're gonna go there. All right, Bob.
Look forward to seeing you guys. Have an awesome evening.
Perfect, Bob. I'll talk to you here in just a few. All right, man. So I know that's probably like drinking from a fire hose. I get it. There was a lot to take in there. So go back, watch this plenty of times, as much as you need. If you got questions, just reach out. It's right there. You can learn more over at betterwithmarketing.com. Head over there, get all the information you can. If you have questions, just ask. That's all you got to do. Be the asshole. That's all you got to do. Ask the questions. We'll get you the answers for it. And when you start looking at some of this stuff and you say, hey, well, maybe this is a little out of your budget, see what you're doing now and how much time that is costing you and what you value your time at. Like I said, in my business, my time's $125 an hour. So when you factor that in, doesn't take but 3 hours and it covers all of this, and that's just the facts. That's the stone hard facts. So if you're ready to really take your business to the next level, make it better with marketing.com. Now, next week's show, we are going to talk team stores. I know it's a topic we covered in the past, but somebody asked some questions on it. So we're going to talk about, what I know is available out there, what some other people are using, pros and cons of that. So you'll want to turn in next Tuesday with Todd, as we talk all about team stores. Next up for us, tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is Morning Mindset. We do that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. Remember, when you show up, let me know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in the area. But more importantly, I need your 5 things. There are 5 things that you are going to accomplish tomorrow. We do that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So until the next show, I hope you guys took something out of this. If you didn't, you suck because you weren't paying attention, because there was plenty of things that were dropped in this. So we're just going to leave it at that. So until next time, you guys have an amazing night. Peace, love, press on. We will see you tomorrow morning. Maybe it hits the button. There it goes. See you guys.